You are now into Film Code.
I seen it. You're fond of me lobster.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Your ass looks like about 150 pounds of chewed bubble gum, Kyle. You know that? Say it, sir! I don't believe you people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Now answer my question. Were you rushing or
What's
were
going on,
you
everybody?
dragging?
Welcome to Film Code. My name is Phoenix Cloud, and joined as always by the two greatest co-hosts in the world. Of course, starting with our man Zach Sneeve. Zach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Phoenix. I'm not missing, so.
Ah, nice. Good tie-in. And also joined by Brandon. What's up, sir?
Man, it's good to be back. I'm doing well. It's weird. It feels like we took a couple week hiatus, except I've had some life stuff going on, so I had to take a step back, a couple weeks here and there, get knock some stuff out, getting ready to move in my new place here soon, getting ready to get married. So, wedding planning has been taking all my free time lately. So, yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be talking more movies with you guys. Phoenix, how are you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm really happy because of the movie that we're talking about. This is weird. Last year, it feels weird to even say that because it was literally a month ago. But last year we had an issue. Well, not an issue, but we had a lot of great movies come out relatively early. It was weird. It's not something that happens very often, and maybe because due to the pandemic with everything being pushed back. And so now we're in 2023 and it's happening all over again, where a bunch of really good movies have dropped very, very early, this being one of them. So we are talking about the new movie Missing, starring Storm Reid and Nia Long. This is a movie shot entirely on a webcam or a set of cameras, and it's the idea is Storm Reid's mom goes missing. She does everything in her power to try and figure out exactly what happened to her mom. This is a really interesting concept, but apparently has been done before, because this is like a spiritual successor to 2018 Searching, which Brandon, I believe you are the only one who saw.
It is absolutely fire of a movie. It's crazy because you think a film like this can only be done once.
Mm-hmm.
I was going into this, I was very nervous because I love Searching and it's so good. I went in scared because I'm like, can they do this again? Can they make it as good or make it even better as Searching? While it wasn't better, it was definitely on par with Searching, which blew my expectations out of the water.
Nice. That's kind of crazy too. This is called a spiritual successor, but no one who was in Searching is in this movie. Is in Missing. I just think that's hilarious. And it's a totally different directing team as well, so that's just amazing. But maybe it's the same company, I guess. I don't know.
Same exact film company, same different director though.
Yeah,
same production companies though.
That's awesome. Yeah, Stage 6 Films. Zach, so what were your impressions going into Missing?
I was actually pretty excited to see it. I saw some of the trailers and I thought it looked good. I was hoping that it would be as good as the trailers I saw. So that was kind of where I was at with it. I haven't seen Searching or anything prior to that, or know much about I didn't know much about Searching at all until Brandon mentioned it, actually. I didn't even know it was supposed to be related until he said something the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, I too had seen the trailer, particularly in theaters, and I was like, after the first trailer, I was like, ooh, I definitely want to see that. I was like, And I too didn't know that it was a successor to Searching until Brandon mentioned it. But like this concept of shooting the film entirely, through a webcam or through, a
A webcam.
any sort of camera. I just thought, oh, that's really cool. That's a really dope concept. It seems entirely difficult to pull off though, and yet they managed to pull this off. I think to me that's really like the most impressive aspect of it. Brandon, you can answer for do they do that? Is that same tactic
That's
used
it.
in
It's
Searching?
exact premise.
Okay,
You know
cool.
what? It's crazy. It's like because we follow our lead actress, we follow all these characters through their screens,
Mhm.
and in like the moments in the film that we don't see them through a screen, it's not I'm bored, but I'm annoyed because I want to see them view through the screen again. It's just like, without diving into spoilers here, I love the camera work they do of just like they'll do like a major zoom in on like if a character is talking to another character, and they'll do a major zoom in on them, and you'll still be watching it through the screen, so it'll look pixely, it will look blurry, and I love that.
Mhm. Yeah, that was really cool. It like, yeah, like what I loved about it too is like it it's a, I wouldn't call it a horror movie, but it's more of a like suspense thriller. But like what I loved about it is like it had elements, like I love when anyone can add real life elements to like their horror films or their thriller films. And I think like the concept of a kidnapping and you having to search through your phone and you getting all these different opinions on it, and like all these people chiming in who don't know you, telling you stuff about your life and stuff. I just thought like that was so brilliant. Like just as a nice touch to throw into this story. I just dug it. Just the way it was all pieced together. Uh and the elements of realism that they threw in there. I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
I really like some of the subtle humor in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not even talking and it's hilarious. Like when she goes to well actually we'll get into that when we get into spoilers, but I don't want to say anything just yet, but there's some really funny moments in that movie. One that's not really I mean, I'll just wait till spoilers because I don't know if someone's gonna be upset if I say that. So
All right.
Man, I'm really annoyed with how I had to see this film.
Oh
So
yeah.
my local AMC is doing heavy refurbs. So currently they only have 6 auditoriums open to use. And when I got my tickets, they had the showtimes available. Cool. Auditorium 1, went and grabbed my tickets. And so I don't know. I don't know if other people do this, but maybe it's just me. After I booked my tickets, like a couple days later, I like to see what the seating is looking like just to see if anyone else is coming to see this movie as well. And so I look for my showtime, and ironically, the showtime is missing.
Yeah.
I still have my ticket and stuff. It's still on my app, but it was odd. And then so I get to the theater Thursday night with my friend Jeremy, who I'd love to have on the show at some point. And they scan our ticket. They're like, hold on a second. And they're like, are you sure this is the right theater? They look through everything, and they were like, yeah, this is the right one. Sony had pulled our showtime to favor Man Called Otto. Because since they have such little auditoriums, that Sony would rather push Man Called Otto than push Missing. So I knew we had to record this for the show, even though we had a couple backups. I still really wanted to see this because I love Searching. I had to drive 40 minutes north to a different theater just to go see this movie. And oh my goodness, the screen was so small.
yeah, that photo of the screen was pretty funny when you sent it to us.
Yeah.
All I could think of when you sent us that was like it's gonna be so difficult to really appreciate a lot of the things that happen in this movie because it's literally screens, and I'm like, the screens are already small, and then you showed us this like your theater screen, which was like it was like the equivalent of a big screen TV at home. I was like,
Yep.
oh man, how's that gonna work? I'm like,
It was fine though. When the film finally started, like when things actually showed on screen, when the projector actually came on, it was better.
it was better.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was still bad, but not as bad as it was when there was nothing on the screen.
Okay. Um, right now, just want to pull this up. We won't have the official numbers for missing until Monday. But right now, Man Called Otto is sitting at $40.8 million. So
It deserves it.
yeah, like it's doing pretty well. So yeah, not bad. Right now, Missing made $760,000 on Thursday night previews. So it's
That's
off to
awesome.
it's off to a really strong start. I imagine it'll hit somewhere around 5 or 6 million by the end of the weekend. So
Yeah,
I think, but A Man Called Otto, I think, has been in theaters 2 weeks now, maybe. So
technically, it had its official widespread release a week ago.
mm-hmm. So that's actually not doing bad at all. Like,
it's Tom Hanks. That's the power of Tom Hanks.
Better than Babylon, unfortunately. But yeah. So let's go ahead and let's break the seal. Let's do it. Let's talk spoilers for Missing.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Guys, we can't tell you enough. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Like it's too damn cool. All right. So Zach, kick us off. What are your spoiler thoughts now on Missing?
Well, first of all, not only is it really a great thriller, honestly, and you just guessing the whole time, but it's also very hilarious. And there's some moments in this movie where I was laughing a lot. Like for example, there was this one moment where subtle moments of humor in this where I caught myself laughing a lot, which was hysterical. Like the one where she's going to verify the email or something, and it's like the captcha picture, and then she like sees a little piece of the truck in the big box, and whether or not she should click it. It's like everyone always has that question, and then it was so good. It was so relatable. A lot of this movie was relatable in so many ways. It was hilarious.
That is a random part to be like that. To throw in humor, I just think that's hilarious.
When she's like getting low on money, she sees like she goes to hire someone, she sees $48 an hour. And it's like this guy, and then as soon as she sees 48, she goes, "Oh nope." She goes and finds a guy $8 an hour. Whose name is Javier.
Javi was
great,
movie.
But it was so funny because even in the theater, like everyone was laughing. I had a pretty packed theater, and everyone saw Javier, and everyone started laughing. It was just like so funny. It was great.
My theater was empty. It was just me and Jeremy.
That's terrible. Like,
but man,
my theater was packed.
Lucky. Man, Javi is the best character of this movie. I can say that without a doubt. Like when he sends the picture to his mom, to her mom, I mean, of him with his son, I'm like, yeah. But you know what's funny is like, it's crazy. There hasn't been a movie, I don't think, I want to say ever, but there hasn't been a movie such as this. And I want to say Searching, because Searching is a different premise. A movie like this hasn't had me switching teams. As I don't think I've switched teams in a movie as much as I did with this one.
Wow.
This film was like, oh my God, should I support this guy? Should I support that guy? Should I support her? Whose team am I on? And then everything became so clear towards the end. That's what's great about this film.
Yeah, like Like Zach, you're right. Like there's moments of humor that I absolutely love in this movie, and like they're very subtle. You know, her mom saying like texting "I love you" and her just like clicking like the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Like I'm like that is me. Like I love how her mom doesn't really like understand FaceTime or
Oh
like
yeah,
That's my
Hey,
mom.
Siri.
That is my mom. She uses Siri for everything.
I'm like, yo, that's brilliant. And then how that comes into play at the end, I was like, yo, I loved it. I dug it. I was like, for me, I thought it was interesting, especially because we covered a movie last week, Megan, about like the dangers of technology and how technology, can be harmful. And then literally this week we get a movie
When
showing
technology literally saves you.
how technology saves you. I was like, yo, that's brilliant. And because the movie is all based in, technology and the different ways that you can use it to save someone's life, I think that's brilliant. Such a strong contrast from what we just saw with Megan. And well done, like extremely well done. Like I said, we're in January and we've had Megan, A Man Called Otto, Missing, all the M's, which is crazy, have been awesome. Like, so like, I just thought that was really cool. That yeah, we got a totally different message from this movie, and it worked.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
I
I'd like
agree.
to I'd like to mention the part where she starts realizing that her mom never came home. I love it, and the fact of like, I mean, she does what every child would do, was just the first thing you would do is look up where she stayed and try and call the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how they kept the sense of realism here. Is just like, you're not gonna have a film such as like Taken where you're just suddenly able to hop a plane and go investigate a kidnapping, and then literally just kill everybody. This was one of those films where, like, as far as her going missing and all that, and back to realism, it's just like, yeah, American FBI, like the U.S. have no jurisdiction, and the
Right.
federales do. And I love how they kept on that, because they could have easily been like, oh yeah, I'll go investigate it. But no,
I
she
also want to say, Brandon Tadwell, to what you're saying. I like that they use real apps and
yes,
real
yep,
real things we have in real life. Like all those services and stuff are all real.
yeah,
And
WhatsApp,
I thought that
Gmail,
was
Facebook.
just awesome. Like that they did that. I don't know what kind of money they had to pay to do that, but that was great. The fact that they had, iPhone or Gmail and face, like the fact they use FaceTime and
Venmo.
Venmo,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Venmo, Ring, right? Like these
Mhm.
are all things that like real people use. So I love how real it is in regards to our own world. Like, because they could have easily just done what so many movies do, which is just, change the names
Think
of
of something.
everything and.
Speaking, bringing back that point of humor, I just want to point out Kevin the Stallion.
Oh
was
yeah,
funny.
the password.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
was dying. Oh, like
And then it's like, does he look like the same kind of password kind of guy?
right. It's like I'm like, dude, I'd be caught because I'm like, I definitely am the same kind of password guy. I'm like, I'm not trying to remember 7 different passwords for everything. Oh, like that's funny though. Yeah, so great humors, but I want to bring it back to another character. We mentioned him briefly, but we got to talk about Javi again. Like,
Best character of the movie.
so awesome. Like the concept of like, I mean, yes, he's paid to do all of these things, but the empathy and the kindness that character has, and the understanding of the situation, especially because he's on a totally completely different part of the country. And just imagine this: you get a phone call on WhatsApp out of the blue, and it's a stranger like, hey, you live in this city, can you go to this place and ask for their security camera, or, you know what I'm saying, to help me find my mom. It's like, yo, that's a crazy thing to ask, but you know, if they're paying you $8, you go, hey, you know, hey, all right, I'll check it out. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you get so committed to it, and the help, and then there's this whole other side story about him and his son and how that relationship ties into her relationship with her mom. And I was just like, this is such an interesting thing to do, an interesting dynamic, because you have a character who's completely unrelated to her situation, and they find a way to compare those two stories and make them work. And I just thought that was really well done. Just really well done.
The scene where he's on the lock bridge, the bike lock bridge, and she pulls up the it's another thing, is like you can actually look at like a popular area webcams, which is awesome. Yeah. I'm glad they brought it up here. But I love when she has Javi wave at the camera. I was sort of laughing at that. I'm like, what a guy.
What a guy.
What a lad.
That was cool, because like in the trailer, they actually show that part where he goes to show her like, oh, the only thing he bought from the hardware store was this lock. And it's a very misleading thing, because it makes you think, oh, he's got her locked up, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this dude's dirty. And then when you watch it in context, it's like, oh no, there's a lock bridge, and that's what they do. They, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that's brilliant. That was a good swerve. Like in terms of like marketing, when you're marketing a movie, and especially when you don't want to give anything away. And I know some people, like even some people on this show, hate trailers, and because they give too much stuff away. That was a cool thing to be like, oh, here's something that's gonna make you think one thing, and then when you get into the film, it's like, no, it's a total swerve. That was really cool.
You know what's crazy is the actor Kevin Leung. Why did I say Samuel Kim? I've been listening to Samuel Kim's music lately. Kevin Leung, man, when it's crazy, because like he's like on the top billed list of actors in this film, but he's in it for like a minute and a half.
Right.
He's in it at the beginning, and then he's at the part where he gets killed, which I thought he was going to be a body double, the guy who got killed, but no, it's actually him.
Yeah.
Which surprised me. But yeah. Like, it's crazy how little screen time most of the actors in this film have, even though you're following them for so long.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is we're talking spoilers. All right. So
we've been talking spoilers.
Yeah, like there's a part in the beginning. It's so cool the way like listen, I'm a editor at heart, so I'm like I love little like neat tricks that people do with editing. Like we see at the beginning someone editing a video, trimming it down from this part, and you know, storing it here and there. We see him type a bunch of stuff about, you know, Los Angeles and all of that stuff. And I was like, okay, you know, it's random, you know, got some voiceover behind it or whatever. I was like, all right, that's interesting. I didn't really think much of it, because I feel like they were just setting up the story from where we're at to where we're gonna go. And then that comes back into play later as we see, like, no, she had to leave Los Angeles. She's in witness protection. That's why her name changed. Like the whole thing, I was like, oh, it's brilliant. Like it was really cool, because I was just like, it's so obvious, but at the same time, you're like, I wouldn't have thought of that. Like,
you know what's hilarious is like, speaking of like, I guess attention to detail, because they could have easily just been lazy and rolled with something else. As a tech guy, I noticed like which version of Windows he's using. And considering he was in prison for 10 years, he was still on Windows XP. Listen, I'm that type of guy. If I'm on Windows XP, 10 years later, Windows 10 comes out, or Windows 11, I'm not going to make that jump because there's too much of a change. I'm going to be like, I'm going to stay on Windows XP. I commend that guy.
If you've been locked up for 10 years, yeah, you stick with what you know.
Yeah, and Brandon, I want to say like the twists and turns in here, like about how you're like, oh, whose team am I on here?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Honestly, this is like a better version of a whodunit movie in a way. Like, it was great. I thought this was clever and unique, and I think that it's by far one of the better mystery movies I've seen as of recently. So
That's what makes like, yeah, because like I'm glad you mentioned the whodunit side of things. It's like this is a great whodunit movie because it is, but it isn't.
Right.
What makes it so good is you don't have this giant widespread cast of people to be like, okay, is it them? Is it this and them?
Right.
No, you're honed down to like 3 people of who it could really be, and that's what I love about it.
And they really sell you like yeah, speaking to that whodunit thing, they really sell you on the fact that it's not who you might even it's not who you think it is, right? Because it's like the way we come into it, like her dad is dead, right? That's what we're thinking. Her dad is dead. There's this new guy in her life, and she disappears with him, and it's like it's him. And I even thought like the FBI agent was in on it too. I was like, this dude ain't helping. He knows something. I'm like, this is trash. This is sketchy. I questioned her lawyer or whoever that lady was. I was like, yeah, I was like,
well, she also was using a private messaging thing to message the dad. So
yeah. So I was like,
or message Kevin.
Yeah, or she thought it was Kevin. I'm like, yeah, it was sketch. I'm like, there's a lot of sketch going on there. So like, yeah, I feel you. Like being on like which team am I on? Like there was a part where I even like questioned the mom. I was like, she did this shit to herself. I was like, this, like I'm like this is crazy. Like it's so funny because it's so funny that she's watching a show about like mystery murders and all of that stuff. And then her story gets turned into a mystery murder. And I'm like, even as I was watching it, I was like, yo, this would make a really good like episode of like a murder mystery type of show. And I'm like because it's just so many twists and turns. I just thought this was really well written, just a very well written story. It makes sense for them to go to this style again because it just works for this story. So I gotta see Searching because I'm like, yeah, Missing was great. So like Searching must be exponentially.
Yeah. If you love this film as much, it's like Searching is wow. Like you know what's crazy is this film wasn't neither of these films were done by M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm.
They both have major M. Night Shyamalan twists in them.
Okay.
Which is fantastic. Which is something I love. It's just like I love when films do those kinds of twists and it's not headed by Shyamalan.
I like this because also the twist is like so for me, whenever I see a movie, especially when it's a mystery, I'm like, okay, where's the twist? I know there's gonna be a twist.
Right.
But like this one, I genuinely had no idea where it was going.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But the thing is like, so this is the problem with these movies. Most of the time, especially with whodunits, is I know who it is. Like I have an idea. I know Brandon isn't gonna like this, but even with Glass Onion and Knives Out,
We've talked about this already.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of, I mean, you can tell who the villain is, like without really like having like because you're like, oh, he's like clearly not the most obvious choice, so it's this person, right? But as with this, like it's completely different. Like there was not a moment I suspected the dad was alive.
Right.
You know, I really thought Jimmy from church was Jimmy from church.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
for the rehab center, yeah.
Like it was so funny too when she typed it in. I was like, I bet that's gonna come up again. I bet Jimmy from church. He's gonna be like, and when I saw that he was calling, I was like, oh, Jimmy for the save. He's gonna unravel this whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I was like, yo, that's crazy. But you get an even more twist. Is like, no, that's her father, and it's like, wait, what? Like,
yeah.
Oh man,
and I like some of the real moments too, where like it's very emotional. Like, because there's moments of this movie where it's just like, oh my gosh, like it really touches your heart.
Yeah, because
for me, there was moments I was like, man, that is so sad. I'm like, like tearing up a little bit. I'm
Right.
like, wow.
Like, cause I'm like, man, you got to think like if she was putting in work, she was putting in mad detective work, like trying to find her mom, and then when she reached like a dead end after dead end, I was like, by like the second dead end, I was like, man, I'd be devastated at this point, and like that was right when she just like gave up, and you see her about to close the computer, and this was my favorite part. She opened up the computer again. She decided she was like, "Let me look at these pictures," because she just realized my mom's face isn't in any of these pictures. Actually, like her face is either covered or it's just her hands, or saying it's like a sight. And one of the pictures, which I'm like, is Kevin an idiot? Like one of the pictures is a moving picture, and like
Yeah,
she
yeah. Julie was an
turns.
idiot for sending a live
Yeah,
photo.
I'm like, she turns and you see like that's not really her mom. I'm like, it's such a cool switch. Like, it's such a cool switch. And I thought it was funny too, because like even before then, you see her like arguing with strangers on the internet who like prophesize like, oh, she did it to herself. This isn't real, or all of that stuff. And then like you get the bombshell, like that's not even her mom, and it's like, whoa, like I can't imagine if you were like one of those people like, oh, this case is weird, or just typing all kinds of crap on the internet, and then you get that bombshell, you're like, oh, okay, now this just got way realer. Like it just got way worse for anything. Like, so your conspiracy theory just goes completely out of the window. I don't know. I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah, that's something I love about that's the part that just makes this film so good. It's just like they give you those clues here and there. It's just like when she hacks into Kevin's computer, and you see that email he sends of, "Oh, you're literally perfect. See you soon." It's like it's the context clue there, and like if you go back now and rewatch the film, it just makes complete and total sense.
Right. Yeah, it does. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, because they're like, even her friend was like, oh, he definitely has a type. And you're like, oh, that's why. Oh, brilliant. That's brilliant.
But she really thought she was acting the whole time.
Right.
About the movie.
I feel bad for her.
I was like, it's kind of crazy too, because I'm like, when she said, she was like, when you didn't see any cameras, what were you thinking? She was like, I just thought this dude's got a vision, bro. Like,
yeah, that was so funny. I was like, oh, that's great.
You know what's funny is like, something that's hilarious to me is just like, what kind of point was he trying to get across when he staged that kidnapping? Because that's when I think that's when the investigation went cold for them.
Well, they killed Kevin.
Yeah, they killed Kevin, and that's when the full investigation went cold. But like, what were they trying to do when they staged that kidnapping?
I think the goal with that was I don't know.
Make it look like the mom was down in Colombia.
So like to give a plausible deniability, I guess, to like, to that, because it's like, well, you can't suspect Kevin because he also got kidnapped. You can't, what I'm saying, and you can't suspect who actually kidnapped her because you're looking at this situation instead. So it was a diversion. That was the whole point of it. It was a diversion.
Gotcha. But I love how they react, how she's able to respark the case when it kind of goes cold by realizing, wait a second, this isn't my mom at this trip.
Right. I'm like, it's genius, but yeah, it's mainly Kevin's fault because he just like, why would you take a live picture? It's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But
this reminds me of like a modern day techie Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this reminds me of.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, how a criminal is, you can always spot a criminal because they're going to, no matter how well they plan it, they're always going to make one mistake, right? And that was his one mistake. Like he sent a live photo, didn't realize it, and he got caught. Like,
something that I love in this film is in the beginning when he's like, did you fix your computer? Because in the beginning, like, because based off the trailers, you think, okay, Kevin Leung is the bad guy in this movie. I mean, he ultimately turns out to be, but like, you're like, okay, Kevin Leung is the bad guy. He's playing someone else just to kidnap her and all that, make her go missing. And when he asks June, he's like, "Is your computer running any better?" I'm like, this guy does not give the IT. I'm like, this guy doesn't give an IT support vibe. He did something to her computer. And then we turn to find out, yes, he really did do something to her computer by like making it like literally just
The ghost VPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Emily, like I said, I know this isn't a horror movie, but it was actually kind of scary because you see how like these things can be used against you. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yeah, when you put so much in that real world context, like this is actually very terrifying. And like I just loved it. And then at its core, it's about a mother and a daughter's relationship. And I love that. Like I love that. Like, yes, we have this spectacle. We're shot in this style, this, webcam style. And, we got the action and the thriller, all of that. But at the core of its story, it's just about a mother and daughter's relationship and, and what they go through. And I dug it, man. I dug it.
Yeah, man.
All right. Are you gonna say something, Brandon?
No.
We ready for final ratings?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right, Brandon, kick us off. What are you giving Missing?
So I gave Searching 4.5, and this was definitely on par with Searching. So I think I'm gonna have to follow up and give it another 4.5.
Solid. Zach, where are you going?
I thought it was a great movie. I did not go with 4.5, but I went close. I went with 4 stars.
I am also gonna ride that 4 stars. Like this was a blast. This really was a blast. I can totally see myself watching this again. I would love to watch it with someone who hasn't seen it. I'd love to watch it with someone who hasn't seen Searching, like because it'll just be a blow in their mind kind of movie. But I dug this. Look, I know I said this about Megan, but I kind of want to see another one. like Searching was great, and then you have Missing. I can't wait for Trending or whatever it's gonna be called. But yeah, I think this is a style and a format that could produce several continuations. It may start to suck after a while, but I would still.
Phoenix, are you saying that to speak it in existence? Because we said that on Megan,
right?
And
then we got Megan.
There's another Megan coming. There's a sequel coming.
Yes. So yes, they listen to Film Code, guys. So yes, let's get Missing 2.0 started. Let's do it. All right. So we're gonna move on now to what's good. All right. So we're gonna move on now to what's good, gentlemen. What have you seen? What would you recommend, Brandon?
Man, okay, so I've been on a 2-week hiatus. I have seen so many movies over the past 2 weeks. So, however, I'm just gonna do a quick speed run on a lot of them. The Whale, Kaleidoscope, Cha-Cha Real Smooth, Man Called Otto, Searching, RRR though. RRR was so damn good. I finally got to watch it yesterday, and man, that was really, really good. And it's crazy. It's like, for me, that Nacho song, Nacho, it's gonna be nominated for Best Original Song.
Yes.
And I thought I really wanted Good Afternoon to win it. Like that was just my personal preference. I think Nacho is gonna get it.
You mean Nacho?
It's Nacho in Hindi.
It's Nacho. And actually, yeah.
It's Natu in its official language, but yeah, the version on Netflix has it in Hindi, so it comes off as Nacho. But yeah.
Does it really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I watched it. Mine was Natsu Natsu. That's crazy.
Huh. But yeah,
Okay.
no, I can see why this won the Golden Globe for Best Original Song, and I think it's going to take it at the Oscars. So that this is prior to me. This recording, to let everybody know who's listening now, is prior to the time of this recording is prior to all of the nomination announcements this upcoming Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Shout out to Indian films, man. I told you guys they were sorry. I told you guys they were great, and yeah, there's even better ones than this. But
yeah,
I need to watch General now.
They don't get talked about, so
this is my first ever Bollywood films.
Tollywood.
Yeah, it's not Bollywood is so it's complicated.
Yeah,
Bollywood is like a specific region of India that makes movies.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But then there's like other regions that also make movies.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
India is a pretty big place. I think they got like 8 or 9 different Indian film companies. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, this is a Tollywood film because it's based in Telugu. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, but yeah, anyone who hasn't seen RRR, go check out RRR. It's on Netflix.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Zach, what's been good for you, sir?
Man, I've seen quite a bit too. Actually, I'm gonna go. Excuse me. Anyways, I'm actually gonna go with. I saw a few different things, but the one I'm gonna go with for recently that I've seen, I'm gonna say After Yang. I was actually really impressed with that movie. It was really good. I saw it on the Plex, and I don't know. I've kind of like land sober a little before. And I was like, I'll get to it. And then the other day I was just sitting down and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. It was great. It was pretty awesome. I love the aesthetics of it. I love the futuristic feel it gives in the movie. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. I love the futuristic feel it gives in the movie. I love the humanity of the movie and what it means to be a human. I think it's great.
Nice. All right. I saw After Yang. It was good. So I also saw a bunch of stuff this week. Like a ton of stuff. I think I've seen like 5 movies. But the one I'm gonna recommend is a first time watch for me. I was genuinely, I don't know why I've been putting off watching this movie, but I just finally had the time and I said, screw it. I want to see this before the sequel comes out. So I watched Shazam for the first time.
Finally,
right.
It's a fun time, right?
Oh, it was a blast. like it was a genuine blast of a film. I was like, this is kind of like it's weird because it's like it exists in a world where Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman exist and Aquaman and all of those. And like you would think that it's a little bit kind of like cartoonish, but at the same time, it so works for the Shazam story. And I just thought it was so cool and so fun. And now I am so hyped for Fury of the Gods. I can't even express how hype I am for that movie. So yeah, man, I dug the hell out of it. I thought Shazam was a blast and a half.
The funniest moment in that movie. I'm Batman. Get him, Batman. Throws a toy.
Right. I'm like, obviously Suicide Squad is probably my all-time favorite DC EU film.
Which one?
The James Gunn version, please.
Oh my God.
like let's be real. But like Shazam is up there, man. I think it's definitely like top 3 because it's probably the Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and Shazam for me. So yeah, bangers all the way around. So you got Shazam, RRR, After Yang. Can't go wrong with that list. That'll be an entertaining watch. So check those movies out, guys. Let us know what you think. And you can let us know on Twitter and Instagram at FilmCoPod. And now it is that time. Film Code. Start program. It is that time, ladies and gentlemen. It was my code word this week. These guys have had 2 weeks now to study and try to figure out what I could be suggesting for them. So your code word this week was Super. Your movie was from 1990 to 1995. It features an all-star cast of comedy legends. Your lead actor also served as a writer and director on this film. And an additional hint, for the first time ever, it is not a musical coming from me. So, Zach, you are at the bottom of the code word list. What is your guess? You said you had it, so I'm very excited to hear what your guess is.
All right, I'm pretty sure I have it. I did a lot of digging.
Nice.
But the movie I landed on was Quick Change. Quick Change is a 1990 film.
Mm-hmm.
It's directed by Bill Murray, and it's also written by him. And that's, not familiar. I mean, it has Gina Davis, Randy Quaid, Jason Roberts. I'm not too familiar with some of them. But
Randy Quaid's a comedy actor.
Oh yeah, Randy Quaid's great. So is Jason Robards, but anyway, yes.
So yeah, I saw Bill Murray, and I know, of course, who Bill Murray is, and so I decided to go with this movie, Quick Change. I'm not quite sure how Super ties in because I haven't seen it, but this is a movie that I think fits all the other clues. So I went with Quick Change. 1990, directed by Bill Murray.
Great guess. Really great guess. All right, Brandon, what do you have?
Originally, I was gonna listen. Originally, I thought you had the year wrong, and I had an original answer that I confronted you about prior to my this new guess, which I originally guessed 1996 Matilda, because this one in Ronald Dahl's version in this newest version is a musical. The one prior to was not. So, yeah, and she has superpowers in both. And the only thing that wasn't right was the year, which, yeah, but so I'm gonna have to also follow up and go with Quick Change, because after doing some more digging after that, I think that was the film I stumbled upon. Man, there's a lot of films that have both the lead actor serves as writer and director. Man, Ben Stiller has such a stacked lineup of that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
But yeah. Tell us we're wrong.
Well, actually, you are, yes, both wrong. Oh man, I was rooting for you guys too. I really was. I was like, oh man, they could definitely get this. 2 weeks of research.
What was it?
Yeah. Your code word actually is Meteor Man. 1993. Stars Robert Townsend, who also served as writer and director and producer, actually. The comedy legends in this movie: Marla Gibbs, Eddie Griffin, Sinbad, Bill Cosby.
Sinbad's in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh
Chris
man,
Tucker.
I love Sinbad.
Yeah, a bunch of legends. John Witherspoon is in here. Yeah. It also, I could have given you one more clue, which is that it also features a ton of musical legends as well. Like Biz Markie is in this. Cypress Hill, Naughty by Nature, Luther Vandross, Another Bad Creation. Yeah, like a ton of legendary musical acts as well. But yes.
See, but that only hint would have served your purpose.
What?
Because you are not searching for that hint would have only helped you because you know all your musical people.
Well, I mean, you never know. It might have stirred you in the right direction. Who knows? But
not once did this movie come up.
That's not crazy. It is a awful movie. I want to stress it is really bad. It has a 2.4 on Letterboxd. It's a superhero movie before they became really good. But I loved it. I saw it as a kid. It's one that stuck with me forever. Robert Townsend is a genius writer, director. Fantastic film in my mind because I saw it when I was a kid, so I love it. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. But yes, that is your code word this week, the Meteor Man. So if you do get a chance to check it out, I highly, highly recommend it. It will infuriate you beyond no doubts. Like, and you will be like, I'm gonna kill Phoenix for making me watch this. But yes, that is your code word. So I will reign supreme once again on top of the leaderboard with another 2 points. Oh, victory is so sweet.
Honestly, I mean, I've searched so long for this. Like, you have no idea how much time I spent searching this, and I literally, this movie never came up one time.
How is that possible?
I literally used every word you put in that code word in Google.
Yeah.
Like, I tried so many different keyword searches. I mean,
wow.
I went through quite a few 90s films.
Wow.
And that one never came up once.
That's crazy. So. That's crazy.
Well, if you're saying it's a bad movie, not really, because why would anyone make it notable if everyone else hated it?
It's kind of a cult classic, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a cult classic.
Cult classic to who?
To some people in the cult,
Really?
I guess. Oh, man. But yeah, that's it. I loved it. I love playing with you guys. This is so fun. Brandon, you got the code word next week. I'm so excited to see what
Damn
you
right
come
I
up
do.
with.
Brandon, please don't make it something like this.
All right.
For my sake.
We're going to get up out of here, guys.
Listen, you're a lost cause, Zach. I hate to say it, but like the only chance we have of dethroning Phoenix is through me.
Best of luck, sir. All right. We're going to get up out of here, guys. Brandon, let everybody know where they can find you, sir.
Yes, sir. You guys can find me at FANTASMIC ears over on Letterboxd. Go check out what I'm watching. And yeah, thank you guys again for listening.
All right. And Zach, where can everybody find you, sir?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Zach Sneak. That is ZACHSNEATH. Or you can find me on Letterboxd at Z Sneaks.
All right. And you guys can find me on Twitter at IamHOReviews1. That's the number 1. And on Letterboxd under PA Clouden. And as always, guys, please follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at FilmCoPod. And we will see you guys next week. We are out of here. Peace.